But if you're depressed and you take a certain kind of drug, then it creates the illusion of no depression.
Yes.
By example, I'll give you Panadol. For instance, if I take Panadol, we know it as
Painkiller.
a painkiller. Now I have a headache. I swallow Panadol. It goes in my system, goes to the brain, and then it blocks the communication between the pain receptors and the pain interpreters.
So really the job was to block.
To block.
It hasn't dealt with the
The
issue.
headache remains,
And that's
you
a
don't feel
misunderstanding
it.
that we have.
Yes.
Then we think it treated our...
It treated it. So when a person is going through so many things, bipolar, depression, anxiety, and all those, they self-medicate because someone will tell them, take this and it will work for you. You take it and it works for you. And therefore, you want to do it again and again.
This is Here Now, exploring mental health in Uganda. This program is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional diagnosis or treatment. If you or someone you know is in immediate danger, please seek help at the nearest health facility. We'll be dealing with depression and anxiety in Uganda, trauma, domestic violence, substance use and abuse, and also the role that faith and culture plays in mental health. Thank you.
So my podcast is called Here Now.
Mm-hmm.
And it stemmed from personal stories. It wasn't addiction for me. It was an illness, a major illness.
Mm-hmm.
I had a stroke and was in a coma for some time, in a wheelchair for 6 months.
Oh, sorry.
In that journey, I realized that there's so many internal conflict things going on. Will I be the same again? Will I be looked at the same way? Will I be understood? Will I manage to do X, Y, Z? And usually those things paralyze you.
Yes.
Almost. So I can't imagine dealing with addiction because I think there's a bit of a judgment there. And people are struggling with substance use and abuse. I think part of it is how do they get to know that I'm this person? Because they've made it so bad that there's shame attached to it. And so my whole space is to provide a non-judgmental safe space for people to come and be and share their stories so we can inspire others. So yes, this is Here Now with Stella, founder of Ikunde. I have had the privilege of talking to mental health specialists in Uganda, and right in studio with me is the amazing Bill, who I am going to let introduce himself because I cannot do him justice. And then we will just continue our conversation. Just to remind you, this is an educational program that is meant to raise awareness. In no way should it be substituted for a treatment or used as a form of diagnosis. It's just to be open and free and share and know that in Here Now is where you can do something and not be paralyzed by anxiety or thoughts of what next. You're welcome.
Thank you, Stella. I'm glad to be here. I'm always happy to share what I have of my story and what I do. If it can help someone, well and good. Myself, I am a Muchiga. I'm always proud of that because now I'm in a somber space. So I'm relaxed and I speak easy. But when I'm out there, especially doing my work, my hands are all over the place. I'm not one. I'm very. My name is Kahiri Mbanyi. It means someone who cannot stay in one place. That was my late father's name, who was a doctor and pediatrician. The other names are Bill Bekunda Yakobo. But on my baptism certificate, I am William Bekunda Yakobo. None of the names which I used in my daily life, which are Bill Kahiri Mbanyi. So when I grew and got over my addiction, I picked out one of my names, which was Bekunda. And I stuck with Bill because everybody knew me by that one. And so now most people know me as Bill Bekunda, especially in this second part,
Of your
the
life.
second season of my life. I am an alcoholic in long term recovery. I have been through the struggle for the last 20 something years. I went into rehabilitation in 2004, and I had a major relapse in 2010, 2011, which was such a long time. But along my recovery path, I got bold enough to open a bar, and that was the beginning of my relapse.
Oh.
I got over it about 2013, and I've been sober and clean since. In my second, should I call it second leg of recovery, I decided to go to the bottom of what caused my alcoholism. And in 2014, that's when I was at the height of my research, I decided to open a Facebook page called Stop Underage Drinking Uganda, which was, I don't know what you call them, subsequent page or second page to my main page, Bill Bekunda. And the reason for this was to put down I had realized that the cause of my alcoholism was mainly because of underage drinking. I started drinking at the age of 15.
Mm.
And so I decided to research about it and then write my notes on that page.
Interesting.
That was majorly the main thing, but it caught a bit of attention, and people started asking me questions about underage drinking, and then they started inviting me to talk to children in schools, and then I was going to rehabilitation centers to share my story, mainly to get some pocket money, and but also to grow my recovery.
Right.
And so when I started getting the call, I realized I now need to turn this from just having a page to something professional. And so I started an organization, not for profit, called Healthy Youth Lifestyle Options.
Okay.
That was 2015. Uh, and so I started doing, awareness work, reaching out to youth. And then I met a lady who was very interested in my work. She's a psychologist, and she had a hospital for children. And I teamed up with her, and we started Safe Places Uganda Treatment Center, the rehab, which was in 2017. And it is from there that, I started by running the place, basically, I was in charge. And then when the lockdown came, I reduced my duties to simply the recovery coach. And I do still work at Safe Places in the outpatient center, which is in Kampala, in Chambogo.
Nice.
But we do have a facility that was built and designed as a mental health hospital and rehabilitation center, which is along Hoima Road in a place called Bujuko, about 20 kilometers from the Busega stage. And that is where the inpatients for treatment are taken to spend whatever time they need to for detox and for recovery programs.
Gosh.
Is that a long enough introduction?
Amazing. I can't tell you how lucky I feel to be in your presence, honestly.
Thank you.
You've done so much, you've covered so much, you've given so much. And I'm hopeful that our community is suddenly going to get better.
Yeah, it will get better. People are beginning to understand that there is a real problem, and mental health addiction comes under mental health, and they are what we call addictions don't come on their own. They come with co-occurring disorders.
Right.
You'll find the most common are depression and anxiety. And then we have the others, which are clinical, bipolar, ADHD, etc., schizophrenia. So we have all these things, and people don't understand it. In layman's language, they say madman or madwoman. Or,
Right.
I don't know, they say that one has just lost it, or they're just stubborn, or they behave badly. They will not attribute it to a real problem which has got a real solution. So there's a lot to do.
That is so important. I want you to, so a real problem that has got a real solution.
Yes.
We can't give up without even finding a solution.
Yes.
And the solutions are there.
Yes, they are. The solutions are there. People just don't know that there are options.
Okay.
I use myself as an example because I shouldn't speak or share other people's stories, but my own. I'm selfish with that because I know what I went through.
Yes.
I was a very bright, young, handsome young boy. I can
Still
claim
is.
that because
Still is.
still
Still is.
I'll see myself in the camera to acknowledge it. But I was, and I had these aunties who hated me so much and always rubbed it in my face. Oh, you're this, but I never saw it. I didn't. I
You didn't
didn't.
feel it.
I thought they were mocking me.
Okay. Okay.
So I also had a lot of fear. I feared everything. I can tell you that I when I finished my P7, I was in a school called Kabale Preparatory School. Uh, at the time, it was the best in the country, as biased as I am. And
Exactly.
yes,
But it's okay. I'll take it.
so when I finished my P7, I got a 4. But I had this fear in me always that whatever results I get are not mine.
Come on.
So when the results came out, I was with my cousins who were in Kampala Parents, Buganda Road, and all that. And amongst them, I think there were like 2 of his friends and my cousin who had gotten 4s, and the rest had. And I was actually the best in the whole of this region, Kigezi, because there were only 2 of us who got 4s at the time. Me and another guy called Dick, who all went to St. Mary's College, Kisubi. But I kept waiting for them to announce the real results and say,
It's not
sorry,
you.
we gave you the wrong results. And I remember even in my first term in senior 1, I had a panic attack at the end because I feared to do the exams, fearing what if they discover I'm not the one who got those grades.
Wow.
It was a debilitating fear.
Yes.
At that time, I was sober and clean. I had no intentions of ever drinking. If you ever asked me, will you ever drink or smoke, I would tell you,
No.
nah.
Yeah.
Now, we get when I failed to do the exams because of a panic attack, as in I got headache, sweating.
Yeah.
I had all the symptoms of malaria or typhoid or something.
Yeah.
My dad, being a doctor, I was taken to his clinic because they couldn't find anything, and he says there's nothing, and he said it in a funny way. He said, he's just panicking. Give him a soda and some Panadol, he'll be fine. Then they gave me a soda and Panadol. I slept. I woke up. I was fine. And then he told me one thing. He said, next term, even if the world is collapsing on you, you're going to do your exams. Okay? So I didn't take it serious. But of course, when I started feeling those symptoms coming to me towards the end of the next term, I remembered what my father said. So I just had no choice but to do them. And in my class, I still topped the class. I was a 3rd in the class.
Oh, wow.
So for the first time, I kind of believed that maybe
You may be smart.
I might be, I might be. And so I joined the second year, senior 2, and that's when I started drinking. My
Casually.
grades dropped, but I loved it so much.
You love drinking?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I all of a sudden I was no longer shy.
Yes,
I
of
was no
course.
longer limited.
Yes.
I couldn't talk to girls before. Now I could talk to girls. Then they taught me how to smoke. They told me that if you want to look mature, it was in a club. If you want girls to respect you and like you, you have to light a cigarette and hold a beer. So I
Yeah,
intentionally
pressure.
went to light a cigarette and smoke it. And I remember the first time I smoked without coughing, I was so proud of myself. I was like, man, I've arrived. And so I started smoking as well. It affected my behavior, my studies. I got a suspension, my first suspension in senior four. I got an expulsion in my senior
For
six.
drinking?
It was related too, but it
Okay.
was suspect because they never caught me
Oh, I
red-handed.
see. I see.
So when I kept being named amongst the wrong
Yeah,
crowds,
yeah. You belonged there.
yes, and they claimed we wanted to go and beat up the deputy headmasters. Well, it seems we apparently went there when we were drunk at night, but
Oh, that's weird. I
my
see.
mother knows the report because she's the one who she had an interview sometime and talked about it. But I got an expulsion in my senior six when I was doing my finals. I was doing PCB in Masagali College, and I was expelled between the practicals
And the finals,
and the
the
theory.
theory.
Yes, there's that 1 week. You know, I was expelled, and that is when even I began to realize something isn't right with me. I had friends who would know their limit.
Mm.
They would know when to escape. Mom, dad, they're not around. They would find a way. If they're there, they would, But for me, come rain or shine, I had to go, whether they catch me or not, you know.
Mm.
I also used to take a little bit more than others.
Mm.
And it was like fun. But you guys, you drink too much. Now you also feel good. Yeah, I drink a
Yeah, I drink
lot,
more than everybody.
But still there was the element of, but when you drink, man, you overdo it.
Mm.
You get aggressive, you start shouting, you sell everyone. Basically, I put everyone in trouble. I had been in two police stations a couple of times for being idle and disorderly, and I began to realize maybe something is not right. So I was sent out of the country. I went to Germany, thinking that there will be a change. I can't speak the
Right.
language. I was under diplomatic custody. My uncle was an ambassador there. And it seems like this will correct me. But 3 days in, I'd already found the right company to drink and
To do your
smoke
thing,
with.
yeah.
That didn't work out. I ended up going to Ukraine.
Yes.
All that time, when I was in university in Ukraine, I tried to stop and I failed. In that, I stopped for 6 months, influence of a female whom I liked so much. And she was like, the only condition to be with me is if you stop drinking. And I took it seriously. But I relapsed on my birthday because I felt I was too boring and all that. And I thought maybe just for today. And when I drank again, I lost it. I caused chaos. I embarrassed myself. I was back to the bottle. Now, fast forward. I finish university. I come back. People don't understand who is this guy who has come back. How can you go to school and you come back when you're a mess like this? Guys had moved on. They were working. They were getting into serious relationships. I was just drinking and blacking out in clubs and bars and, you know, doing nothing of myself. So I ended up a few years later in a treatment
Yeah.
center, and the second journey of my life began.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that very personal experience that most
Mm,
people wouldn't open up to. As I'm listening to you, though, it feels like there's a pain there
mm,
that you are sort of covering or treating. What is it that makes what kind of pain are people
mm.
who are addicted to either drugs or alcohol? What is it that they're trying to cover?
Well, the pain people are trying to cover is basically dependent on where they are from and what is happening within their personal
But basically,
lives.
there's something deeper than I
Yeah, there
just
is
enjoy
something deeper.
alcohol.
Mine was anxiety. I
Mm.
drank entirely just to get off and feel good. I told you at
And
the
I brought
beginning.
this up just without cutting you
Mm,
short on our audience to understand because really substance use is inseparable from mental health. I
yes.
mean, so anxiety causes you to, okay, you can take it from there.
Yeah. So this anxiety, when I discovered that drinking gave me the freedom
Yes.
to speak,
Freely.
to dance, to be funny, that's what I wanted. So it freed me from that fear that I had, from the inhibitions that I had. I could go, for instance, we used to go for coaching and would sit at Guild Canteen,
Yes.
and girls would be there, the boys here. And there was a girl who really liked me so much. But if she approached me one time to say hi, just start conversation, and then left. And then guys are like, man, Bill, man, you guys have shown you a move. And I tried to even get up and I failed. So one friend of mine said, you first put in a quarter. So he brought me a UG. I swallowed it. And so for me, that was basically it.
Yeah.
For some people, they have problems, genuine problems. And someone will come to you and offer you a drink. Someone will come and offer you, say, maybe take a drink or smoke or take this medication, and you'll feel good. The problem is you will actually take it and feel good. It doesn't lie. It does its job. You take the weed, it will make you feel high. You take whatever medication, it calms your nerves. And so because it works, we as human beings are reward oriented.
Yes.
Being reward oriented, if I come to a restaurant and it's serving, has very good service and very good food, I will want to come back to that restaurant.
Yes.
If I have smoked weed and it gives me a good reward, I will go for it the next time. So it begins as a solution to whatever problem, whether you're having a problem, whether you just want to have fun, and then now the brain starts relating to it. We say the brain adopts it to such a point that it becomes a part of its normal functioning.
Yes.
And therefore, without it, you don't function well. So you'll find someone is going for a party, they will not enjoy it unless that part, the alcohol or the drug, is in their system. So the brain adopts it and makes it likable. And that's why it is very difficult to get off it. So whether it's pain, whether it is just entertainment, whether it's real, whether it is not, at the end of the day, the problem, when it begins, it develops into something that you have no control over. Yes.
Do you think it sort of covers some mental health issues? Are you covering part of
Yes. For instance, if you are depressed, you'll take a drug. Let me not be specific because this might become a coaching lesson for people who are inquisitive and be like, okay, if I'm depressed, I take this. But if you're depressed and you take a certain kind of drug, then it creates the illusion of no depression.
Yes.
By example, I'll give you Panadol. For instance, if I take Panadol, we know it as
Painkiller.
a painkiller. Now I have a headache. I swallow Panadol. It goes in my system, goes to the brain, and then it blocks the communication between the pain receptors and the pain interpreters.
So really the job was to block.
To block.
It hasn't dealt with the
The
issue.
headache remains,
And that's
you
a
don't feel
misunderstanding
it.
that we have.
Yes.
Then we think it treated our...
It treated it. So when a person is going through so many things, bipolar, depression, anxiety, and all those, they self-medicate because someone will tell them, take this and it will work for you. You take it and it works for you. And therefore, you want to do it again and again. And then you don't want the one prescribed by a doctor because that one does not give you pleasure.
Right.
You see,
Right.
the medication from a doctor is not supposed to give you pleasure. Otherwise, you'll be immediately addicted to it. So they give you something that does the job but doesn't give you pleasure. This one does the job, gives you pleasure, but creates
Another issue now.
another issue. So you find that now the problem you have, you're adding on another one. So we also say that sometimes you have an addiction which causes another mental health challenge,
Mm.
or sometimes you have a mental health challenge which now causes an addiction. They go hand in
It's
hand
an
like brother
interesting
and sister.
marriage.
Yes, it is.
What would you say our families and communities misunderstand about substance abuse?
Everything.
Uh-huh.
They misunderstand everything about substance use and abuse because they don't they in let me say Uganda,
Right.
a man is a man. What are you crying about?
Hmm.
Take it as a man. Men do this, men don't do that. Okay? Crying is for girls. Now, depression doesn't care whether you're a man or a woman. And one of the emotions exhibited by depression are tears.
Mm.
So you'll be looked at as not man enough, which makes the problem worse. Right? So people don't understand these things, and it takes a lot of education
Yes.
for people to be made to understand these. And the reason as to why I have this agenda mental health awareness to make people understand that these problems are real. Nobody wants to be looked at as weak,
Right.
or they will say, "You get over it. Come on, what are you talking about?" And so you'll see that when something is going wrong, nobody is seeking professional help. They are simply trying to find a way to cope,
Mm.
whichever way it may be,
Whatever works for them.
whatever works. I work in a mental health institution. We are supposed to have what do you call it? A stampede. Because even the newspapers we've read, 34% of the Uganda population has mental health challenges. Now, people trickle in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think it is necessary.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Until it gets to a point where they say this person is mad. We don't see people coming for help until they need rehabilitation. And I usually tell people, by the time you've called me, if it is substance use related, by the time you have called me, I know it is ready. The person
Too
is ready
late.
for treatment
Treat.
straight.
Yeah.
I don't even have to explain, because people will watch. I mean, I have friends, and I tell them, and their friends tell me, Bill, you're pushing too hard, man. I'm like, what do you mean? The beginning of the problem, they see it, but they think the person is just behaving badly.
Oh.
And they say, but why don't you do it like me? I'll give you an example of drinking. But if warage is disturbing you, why don't you drink beer?
Mm. Mm.
Then I tell them that this is borderline addiction. Bill, now you're going too far. All he has to do is not to drink. For me, as we say here in Uganda, for us, we drink one beer and we go to sleep. Why are you taking more than one? So people don't actually understand it, and it's even worse
Areas.
in the rural
Can
areas.
imagine.
And you'll find that the majority of people who start getting whose mental health challenges start deteriorating move to the village where nobody really cares.
Oh. Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so you downgrade to that.
Yeah.
But here, people are beginning to understand it a bit, and they'll be like, you know what? Maybe this person needs to get help. But we're trying to say that people need to start looking to understand the signs and symptoms of mental health challenges so that they can start acting on them fast or as
Faster.
fast as
When you
possible
before it's too late.
before it gets out of hand. Yeah.
Ah, Jesus. Okay, so this is you and your journey and what you've started.
Mm,
How, and I know it's much better now. Like people are open to it. Just saying how people call you sometimes, and they're ready.
mm.
Are there still people who are in denial about it, who think wakabarug or something else? And how do we reach those people?
Yes. The first person, the last person to know they have a problem, first and foremost, is the person with the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones who are usually in the denial, which is understandable because
Okay.
the effect of the challenge or the disease has tuned their mind to think that way. More concerning are the people around them, because they can see the problem, but they don't understand it, and therefore, you see, the reason as to why many people will say I was bewitched is because everyone is trying to find an answer.
Yes.
You can't be there without an answer. Now, you're doing things out of the ordinary. This is not expected of you. One, as an adult. Two, maybe even your history was clean and good. All of a sudden, you're behaving strange. I can't explain it. So, what's better to explain it than something spiritual?
Mm.
So, as long as somebody gives an answer to the problem, they are content. So they'll start with things like you've been bewitched, people don't like you, or it will go to blaming somebody or something. You know, you rich people, they like saying, you people who come from good families, you're the ones who get these problems
It's
because
rich
they
people's
spoil
problems.
you. Exactly. But then, even the people in the ghetto, they still good, they
Absolutely.
get the problem.
Oh,
It's just that
absolutely.
they are not as visible. So they'll blame it on your family. You know, you were treated too well or too badly. They'll blame it on trauma. Now, we say all these things are contributing factors. Poverty can be a contributing factor, the trigger.
Loss of something.
Loss of someone can be a contributing factor. So they cause the beginning, the reason as to why you start behaving in a certain way. But the behavior,
The
when
continuation of the
when you
behavior.
repeat it, it becomes the habit.
Yes.
Habits are, first of all, hard to break. Now, when it comes to mental health conditions, it now rewires your brain. Your brain is rewired. So a person will actually believe what they are saying. When I would tell you that I don't have a drinking problem, I meant I didn't have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Everybody could see it, but my brain had rewired to imagine it's not a problem and I can stop and solve it anytime I want to. Now, everyone has their own answers. The person in denial has their own answer of, I can handle it. The family starts coming up with answers. One will say, this one is mad. Another one will say, this one was bewitched. Another one will say, so they blame. And as long as they have that answer, then they can justify it by whatever action they decide to take. Usually, actions that are taken are punitive. They will punish someone for not stopping to take weed. So they'll take him to the police station, tell them, keep him for 2 weeks, cane him, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
When he comes out, he's like, I'll never do it again, which usually means. But a few days later, the cravings come, the triggers, whatever it is. If it was trauma, it's a reminder. Now, especially when it comes to substance use, the solution is what people are calling the problem.
Say more about that for a lay person to understand.
When I would drink, it wasn't a problem. Because if I have a problem, I don't drink, I don't get a problem to solve it. I get a solution. When I felt sidelined or broke or disturbed, angry, hungry, tired, I would drink. What would it do for me? It would make me feel good about myself. So if I was broke, if I had 5K and I put in a drink of 2K and I get high, I believe that now all my problems are solved. I'll start thinking big.
Because you can get money anytime.
Anytime. In fact, there were times I used to drink so that I could get creative to be able to.
I've heard that about weed smokers.
Yes. So you see that it is a solution. When you drink, it is solving a problem. But the people watching you when you black out are seeing the problem. Now, people forget that when a substance use is involved, the person who is under intoxication is not present. You are looking at me, okay, you say I've blacked out. Am I in a good state or in a bad state. When I have blacked out, I'm happy, I'm sleeping, I'm snoring. You're looking at someone who is about to die. If I get seizures, I am not even aware that I have seizures. But you who is watching me, you're seeing someone who is biting his tongue. I'll only realize when I come out of it that
And you have bruises or
I have
pain.
bruises, but I don't have that experience. You see? So for me, when someone comes and would come and tell me, Bill, can you not see that alcohol is destroying your life? I would be like, how? How?
Right.
You see, because what you're seeing, I'm not seeing. They are present when you are not. So everything you refer to doesn't make sense to me.
Wow.
I know that maybe there is a problem. And you see, those are things people need to understand. So they will start blaming the person and saying the person is just big headed, they're just a nuisance, they don't listen, they are ungrateful, and all those things because they are not in that person's shoes. When it comes to recovery, why people who are in recovery are very essential is because we seem to be the only ones who really understand what's going on. Because I've tried to even explain it to families that you haven't experienced failure to do something that seems so obvious to everyone
But not
that you think that this person is just doing it to themselves. You see, so people need to understand what is really going on to be able to know how to deal with these problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
That leads me to the other question. What signs then should we look for as members of society, family members, friends, spouses,
Mm,
before it's too late? And
mm.
how do we help you, the person with the problem?
Okay. Signs. Sign number one: when a person is not the way they were.
Change.
Someone used to be bubbly, used to be, all of a sudden they are quiet and laid back. Question: why? People usually will say, "Oh, it's growing," especially teenagers. It's a phase. They want to be alone. They are hiding. They are doing things. Then maybe they are caught somewhere at one point, and they be like, teenagers are like that. They're just rebellious. No, they are not. When somebody changes from the things they used to love, that is the first indicator something is wrong. Someone came to work, you is your workmate, and they were free and easy, and all of a sudden now they are to themselves, they are not talking. What is wrong? You see, there are obvious things like when a person has red eyes, they're always late, they absent.
You may judge me as that because I have red eyes. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but you see, there are all these signs whereby you be like, they can see something isn't right, but then they'll now blame it on he's stressed. He's drinking because he's stressed. So they allow you to deteriorate because they think. Yeah. So when we say that when a person changes from what they normally are, that is the first sign that
sign.
there is something wrong. The evident signs, of course, like I've mentioned, are the eyes, you get shakes, loss of appetite, and all those things. Those are what you need to look out for.
So are the signs the same from when you're beginning to be addicted to this thing versus when you are a full addict? Is it one and the same?
No, at the beginning, it may not be noticeable, and people will be giving excuses for them.
Okay.
You drank too much
Sure.
one weekend. I mean, nobody, there is an obvious sign. You're not supposed to drink and drive.
Hata hiyo kanihanga yona.
Yes. Do you know how many have problems? We say more than 3/4 of the people who drink here usually have, it might not be an addiction yet, but it is a drinking problem. Because you, in your state of mind, even the law says don't drive after you've drunk, say, 3 bottles of beer. Why are you drinking?
And
Is it just to break the law? And why do they think that they even drive better when they're drunk? People don't like that example, but I give it all the time. drunk driving is already a sign of a problem. Um, you'd say, uh, sorry, not to divert from your question.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, drunk driving is a sign of a problem. Things that people, at the beginning, the things that people see are he's just stubborn. He just enjoys his drink. He just loves his drink. So, when you're coming to visit me, what do? I will even have your special bottle.
Yeah.
You say, this guy drinks Jameson. This guy only drinks Jameson. He drinks a full zinga. You'll finish the bottle. And then now you have that particular bottle for him. You're not identifying it as a problem. You're identifying it as just his
Entertainment.
choice.
Yeah.
You see, this guy is always angry these days. I think he's stressed at work. Why is he low? Why isn't he talking to people? Okay. This person likes watching horrors. Those are the early signs. The later signs are when a person is absolutely high, where even friends see him staggering and they let him go to his car
And drive
and
away.
drive. Things he's not coming to work regularly, or every Monday he's absent and they're covering up for him. Those are signs now that it's getting out of hand. A person is using daily. I cannot go home and I'm like, you know what, I have to first reset, or I can't sleep without using.
You need some, yeah.
Now, those are signs which are becoming more definite. When the doctor says your pressure is this, or your liver is this, and they say you need to stop, and you can't stop,
Yeah.
those are usually the signs. So we see that many people at the beginning, we say that when it starts, the moment anyone questions anything about your using, it is already something. It means
to
it's
worry about.
leading, yes, and you should check. I use the example of a car. When you have a car and you're turning and you hear a crackling sound, you don't be like, let me be driving it like this.
Let me push.
The first thing is to look for a mechanic.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Now, you go for a mechanic when it is a machine. What about you when you feel
mental.
something is wrong, something isn't right, especially the educated? And then we say, okay, for the person who is developing the problem, it might be a little bit difficult. So we say that those around you,
Yeah.
the moment you notice, why don't you encourage the person to get help? And then we further say that because the person usually might refuse the help, usually when somebody needs help, they don't want to get it. You who has noticed the problem, you go see the professional and find out. Say, this person has these and these and these characteristics. This is what he does. This is how late he comes home. This is what he tells the children, blah, blah, blah. And then they will tell you, oh, that seems like this.
Right.
Now, when me, who has found that information out, come to you and I explain to you, you know, I went to see a specialist because you're behaving like this, he cannot dispute. He's more likely to listen because you're actually telling him facts on things which the person is actually feeling.
Right.
And they will get help.
Right. Oof.
Yes.
Thank you for blessing me with your time, your expertise, your passion for the job. This really warms my heart. I am so grateful that you've done this. So for people who want to get in touch with you, how do we reach you?
Easy to reach. If you go on social media and type Bill Bekunda, you'll get me. I'll be there. My social handles are either Bill Bekunda or Bekunda World. Yeah, Bekunda being Bekunda. I can be reached once you get me on. I'm on TikTok a lot. I'm on Instagram, Facebook a little bit less because, as you know, in Uganda it's censored. So, some people don't access it. To access it, we need to use what is it called, VPN. So the few who are, what do you call it, enlightened, are the ones
The
who,
elite of the group.
yes. But to find me, Bill Bekunda. For our services, we are at Safe Places Uganda Treatment Center for treatment of mental health and all psychiatric services
Wonderful.
that you need, and rehabilitation as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
If they want my WhatsApp number, I don't know, but you can put it somewhere in the bio, I
okay.
think. Yeah.
I'll share this information with you. So thank you again. Thank you so much. This is just wonderful. And I'll stay in touch if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please do.
Because I feel like people need to know these things. People need to be exposed.
Yes.
There are myths. There are all these things that we say
Yes.
that we could catch the problem before it becomes
Before
an
it
addiction.
becomes, yes.
Or if it's mental health, before it becomes mental illness. So I really appreciate you sparing time to do with this. What I find interesting, Bekunde, I do coaching and I use ikunde,
Oh,
which
ikunde,
is love
ikunde,
yourself.
ikunde.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And so your
We
name
shall
and
also do the Ruchiga version sometime.
That's right.
Yes.
That is right. So, our dear viewers, remember you do not have to always have it figured out, because then here now is where you actually can be present and attend or deal with anything that you're going through. So, I will meet you here now.